California Postcards is brought to you in HD by the El Camino RV Row.
Served in at least 2 wars and helped recover the first astronauts to walk on the moon. The aircraft carrier USS Hornet is now at a museum docked at the old Alameda Naval Air Station.
And that's where Jonathan Mumm takes us tonight in this week's High Definition California Postcard.
Standing at the dock is one thing, but climb the gangway and come aboard the aircraft carrier USS Hornet and you'll get a much better idea of the size of this ship, particularly if you're showing your little grandson around.
It's a cavernous place. It's amazing this how big this ship is. Yeah.
There are 17 levels to the Hornet, the flight deck pretty much in the middle. Go down to the second deck and try walking it from bow to stern.
It gives you a sense of the size of the ship just because it takes us forever to get back here.
John Stanley is the CEO of what today is known as the USS Hornet Museum. This was the 8th Navy ship to carry the Hornet name. The first was in 1776, this one during World War II.
It went into service, into battle, I should say, in March of 1944 and fought for approximately 16 months at sea without touching land.
With 3,500 men aboard, it was a floating city. This was sick bay.
It's a full-scope hospital with surgery rooms and audiometry and x-ray and everything in there.
Pilots were briefed in the ready room before heading up to the flight deck, a climb made easier in the 1950s with an escalator. Taking off and landing either World War II prop planes or later jet aircraft, though, was always a tricky business.
On all aircraft carriers, there are always a few accidents that happen along the way. It's very dangerous.
Up above the flight deck, you can visit the pilot house, where the helmsman steered the ship. But it was the captain who ran the show, sitting up front on the bridge in a chair reserved for him alone.
That is a Navy tradition. No one sits in the captain's chair except the captain.
The Hornet also served in Vietnam, but its most famous mission was one of its last.
There goes the first astronaut.
Recovering the crew of the Apollo 11, the first men to walk on the moon.
Here they come, the 3 astronauts. Armstrong.
Today you can literally walk in Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and Michael Collins' footsteps in the hangar bay where they made their way from Helicopter 66 to the quarantine facility.
I want you to know that I think I'm the luckiest man in the world.
Now, the facility on display here is actually from the Apollo 14 mission. And while it's the same make and model, this is not the actual number 66 helicopter that flew off the Hornet that July day in 1969.
But you know, this helicopter actually has its own claim to fame. It was used in the movie Apollo 13.
The ship itself has been in the movies too, like the recent Rescue Dawn. And being docked permanently here at the old Alameda Naval Air Station has its advantages. Going aft, you can't beat the view. At Alameda Point, Jonathan Mumm, News 10.
The USS Hornet Museum is docked at Pier 3 at Alameda Point, site of the old Alameda Naval Air Station. Just take Highway 880 to the Broadway Alameda exit. For more information, log on to news10.net. You'll find a link.